So today, I would like to discuss for you the issue of why kombucha tastes so bad. But I'm going to take a little bit of a different approach. Instead of actually getting into the science of why it tastes so bad, I'm going to explore another phenomenon that you may or may not have noticed. And this phenomena has to do with several other popular drinks in the Western world and in the world in general. And we're going to look at them and see how they taste and see how popular they have become in spite of their taste. And we're going to discuss why. We're going to discuss why that is. So let's talk about coffee. Does coffee taste good on its own? Now, probably about 25% of you out there would say yes. Now, I agree, sometimes a really good coffee tastes okay. But 80% of the coffee out there does not taste good, which is why everybody has to add sugar and cream and blah, 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 blah to make it taste decent enough to drink. And yet, coffee is supremely popular. Ever wondered why that is? Someone will say, it's the caffeine. Well, there's caffeine in tons of things. There's caffeine in all kinds of tea. Okay? There's caffeine in, there's caffeine in kombucha. And so it just begs the question, why is coffee so popular if it doesn't taste good? And most kombucha that's done well actually tastes better than coffee. It's because of this. Coffee has become such a cultural icon, such a prevailing and prevalent part of our culture, so much so that it's even become part of our identity as Americans. Okay? And when something becomes part of you and part of your identity, which then ties into your ego, it doesn't matter what it tastes like anymore. If anybody attacks it, boom, then we attack them. That's the way it goes, folks, with human nature. Okay? And if you're not convinced of that, let's talk about alcohol. Okay? The majority of alcohol, with a few rare exceptions, tastes even worse than coffee and worse than kombucha. And yet, it's wildly popular. Okay? Now, I admit, there are a few alcoholic drinks out there because of the creative genius of a few people that they've learned to make them taste good. Okay? I even enjoy a good beer once in a while. A good beer. I said a good beer. Okay? So, but 90% of alcohol, unless you mix it with something, right? And even then, it doesn't even taste that great. Even the best wines I've had don't taste that great. Most beer doesn't taste that great. And for dang sure, whiskey, any hard alcohol, does not taste good at all. Now again, there are the rare exceptions in the world of those people who have gotten so used to it or who were literally raised on it. It's so much part of their diet that it tastes good to them. I get that. There's a few rare exceptions. Maybe 10% of the people, okay? But to the rest of us, hard drink tastes bad. Period. Like, really bad. But yet, it's wildly, crazily popular. You ever wonder why that is? It's because of the effect? Yeah, okay, sure. People like to get drunk. People like to get buzzed. Okay? So, but more than that, it has become so much a part of our identity. Like wine especially is part of people's identity. Beer is part of millions of people's identity. Hard alcohol, whatever your favorite brand is part of your identity. Right? Those of you who partake. Okay? And once something becomes part of your identity individually, and even more once it becomes part of the communal identity, right? Like the identity of a people group, or the identity of a nation, or of a geographical region, or of a demographic, right? Once it becomes part of people's identity, then it ties itself into ego. And nobody will ever stop drinking it at that point, okay? Regardless of taste. Okay, so basically when people say, oh, I drink kombucha except for the taste, they're basically, that's basically like an excuse. Because we drink all these other things that don't taste great, and we drink them voraciously, and they don't taste good. Something to think about. Have a nice day.